What's happening? Uh, Another day, another holler. You know how that goes. It's like, I realized something. It's like, there's two kinds of giving someone a hard time. There's this kind of giving someone a hard time just because you can, because you get pleasure from seeing someone else struggle, see someone else give up, from breaking their spirit. That isn't good. That isn't good. We shouldn't do that. But I mean, I guess there are some stubborn people who need assistance. So, or you've seen someone previously, and a person that comes up, they remind you of this person that did something before, and you came against them in this similar fashion just to give them a hard time because you could, because it gave you pleasure to watch someone, to crush someone. You know what I'm saying? And if I didn't have a certain level of resiliency, I would have been crushed already. You know what I'm saying? And I also realized this. It's like, people give you a hard time, and it's like, why are you giving me such a hard time? What did I do to you? You know what I'm saying? But I understand now. It's like it's better for someone who isn't really your enemy, and they give you a hard time. What they're doing is they're preparing you for when the enemy truly comes in to give you a really hard time. They're preparing you. It's like, this is what they're going to do to you. They're going to attack you. They're going to slander you. And then there's things about every one of us that they don't even have to slander. It's just the truth. We all have character issues that we need to work on. And of course, whenever you present one thing that is true, that hits somewhere close to where they are encamped, you know what I'm saying? Well, they start throwing things back. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I guess it's just the way these things work. If you make a public statement, well, you become a public spectacle, and now you get to have your sins poured out before the public to discredit the truth that you presented. So, I mean, I understand all this. Plus, people want to see where your heart's at. They want to see if, listen, are you easily discouraged? Do you give up? Do you just quit? You know what I'm saying? When things aren't looking your way, you know what I'm saying? And I understand this now. It was like, it's taking too much of this stuff personal, and it's just the nature of this when you do these things. You know what I'm saying? When you speak about things, well, you're speaking against things that already are established, and people are profitable. It's profitable for certain people the way things are. And when you talk about changing things, well, people get a little freaked out because they get comfortable, you know what I'm saying, with their positions, with their advantage. And I mean, if you were going to say this society isn't a society of advantage, you're blind. You know what I'm saying? You're ignorant. You're lying. You know what I'm saying? Because you had advantage yourself. You know what I'm saying? I've had advantage in the fact that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Coming from a multi-ethnic background, multi people generations of military people. You know what I'm saying? I got multi generations of college educated people. Not to say, listen, college is just a tool. In the end, it's what you do with it. If you just toe the line and gatekeep, you're part of the problem. But if you're someone who learns and then transcends what you learn, it transcends your gate where they wanted to keep you corralled in, to be the managerial class. You know what I'm saying? And the the so-called scholarly class, which a scholar would present all the information. They wouldn't. It's like they make you a scholar of their government okayed information. You know what I'm saying? Which only you're just you're really re-education. You're really deep in it, and I confront this spirit all the time, of the spirit of it's like if I attack the Jesuits, who are the responsible, the Illuminati, the responsible for all education, that was one of their credos, was we're gonna take over education and replace God with science. But it's not true science. It's science, but it's just not full science. You know what I'm saying? It's got a cap on the top of it that keeps it from it's like if science was your end all be all, if that was your god, okay? Why do we not have free energy when we know it exists? Why aren't they trying to learn how to do cold fusion that's less radiologically pollution? Why aren't they trying to find alternate things that we know exist? You know what I'm saying? Why don't they cure diseases instead of just treating them so they can keep making money? These are all scientific fields, and it's hypocritical. That's my only point. That's my point right there. Is that this shit is hypocritical, and it can be proven over and over and over again how hypocritical this shit is. You know, like my mom's asking her college professors, "Hey, what do you think about Jade Helm?" And they don't know anything about it. So you can't say that these people are. We can't elevate them to gods. You know what I'm saying? Because they're smart. Because your smarts are actually making you stupid, because you got all this weird knowledge about these other topics that really they're kind of important, but they're not. They're just deified and edified above where they should be. When the things that are really important, like, hey man, the geopolitical scenery is changing, a new regime shift, like in Nazi Germany, and how come you smart, enlightened individuals aren't aware of it? Well, it's probably because they done signed on to the New World Order. They're part of the Jesuit mafia. And you know what I'm saying? And then, all their students with their, holding up their banner degrees, you know what I'm saying? They're just voting for their team. You know what I'm saying? When it's team humanity, it's not, you know what I'm saying? The educated versus the uneducated, and this class versus that class, and we have more class than you. That ain't even the truth. You know what I'm saying? What do I see? What is class? Class is when you do what's right. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of who's watching. You know what I'm saying? Like when your circles, your social circles start picking on someone, you should turn your head and walk away in disgust. You know what I'm saying? And instead, most people take the peer pressure and they join in on the whole hoorah. You know what I'm saying? And that's a Sodom and Gomorrah type of mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're doing it because it's cool. Everyone's doing it. No, that's whatever everyone's doing. You should analyze that and see why. Is it mind control? Is this an engineered trend? Is this social engineering? Things like this. But, I appreciate the people out here who use some restraint in their debatings. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, let's if we're on the same team, let's no reason to pull any dirty punches. No reason to punch below the belt. You know what I'm saying? No reason to gouge the eyes. But you know what I'm saying? It's just it's part of the thing. If you can't hang with the big dogs, you got to stay on the porch. And I guess that's what I think they were trying to say in a roundabout way. They couldn't just come out and say it. So they just give you a hard time because, listen, they're getting you prepared for a harder even time when the assholes come out and they start using all the dirty tactics. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to roll with the punches as opposed to just throwing up your hands and giving up, or even making yourself look stupid, because that's what it is. It's like, listen, I know you should be angry, so they're testing you to see how much restraint you have. You know what I'm saying? Can you keep your composure when everyone's trying to get you? You know what I'm saying? And hey, it's like the Bagua, man. It's basically it's a martial art where it's not like sportsmanship where it's one guy versus one guy, the rules. It's anything goes. There could be 10 people attacking me. I have to roll with them punches. It could be just one guy, but he might be awesome. You know what I'm saying? And I just got to stop him from destroying me. You know what I'm saying? Basically, so it can go either way. And that's how you also have to be in this truthing. You have to be able to roll with the punches. You got to be able to throw them. You got to be able to take them. There's a time to take a hit and walk away. There's a time to hit someone before, like they throw the punch first, but you move out the way and tag them before their punch even ended. And they're going to be like, what? Whoa, I didn't see that coming. Well, that's because if you saw it coming, I would have failed at my job. You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny, you know, in retrospect, things are a lot more clear than when you're going through them at the moment. You know what I'm saying? This is one of these things. Looking back on it, I see what's up now. And, you know, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's made me a stronger person. It's even made me more, my convictions even stronger. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, and it also has made me abandon dumb, egotistical pursuits. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm just, you know, I got a battle of wills between individuals. This after the Terminator World War III is over, we can re-engage in them types of debates. But right now, let's cling to what's important. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep our eyes on the ball. You know what I'm saying? Let's, you know. So this is re-encouragement to all them people as well. Love you. No hard feelings. You know what I'm saying? I get over things and keep it moving. And, you know, I think everyone should do that at some point. It's just like, wait a second. I'm going to let go of my hate and hostility towards people and just focus it where it is needed. Because there are certain things you should not like. You should have a distaste for it and a hate for it. When you see oppression, you should hate it. When you see corruption in government, you should hate it. You know what I'm saying? When you see things in yourself that are lower level thinking and more animalistic impulses, you should hate those things, or at least strongly dislike them and try to, you know, keep them at bay. You know what I'm saying? Because everything you do, there is a spot where you have a second to think about a decision. You know what I'm saying? So when you see these things come up, don't give in to the it's what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a response out. They're trying to trigger a response, like a negative response, so they can broadcast that later. You know what I'm saying? And everyone does it. Everyone has a moment where they just blow up and everything just goes out the window for a minute until they recompose themselves and snap out of the funk. You know what I'm saying? Myself included. You know, it's like I can only take so much, and I'm constantly getting in my life, you know, on the internet, you know what I'm saying? People be messing with me, giving me a hard time, but you know, I guess I can appreciate it now because I mean it's like the Bible says, hey, if everyone's coming against you, that's good because hey, if everyone's like, yeah, this and that about you, well, that's the same thing they said about the false prophets. Everyone loves false prophets, but everyone attacks a guy who's sincere. You know what I'm saying? And that's your weakness, is your sincerity. You know, and they know that. They know how to exploit it because you care so much that they can see a violent response. Not what I mean as in physical violence, but verbal violence, confrontational, just ready to go. See someone blow up, you know what I'm saying, for a moment, have a hiccup, blow out their tires from under them, you know, then they'll have to stop, change their tires, and then get back on the mission. So these are just speed bumps, and like I said, man, let's just keep it moving. Just roll with the punches. Look, no hard feelings. I ain't trying to hold grudges no more. You know, it's like there was a time when maybe I was a little more feisty. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to walk away from that type of way of thinking because I know it only leads to more destruction and pain. For even if I overcome enemies, I'm still hurting someone. You know what I'm saying? To protect myself, I got to hurt this person. There's got to be a diplomatic approach that I have to pursue before it comes to anything beyond that. I say the diplomatic approach is the best approach. You know, as long as you adhere to true principles of truth, no one can beat that because it's not you. You're just telling certain truths, and it's like the truth is what hurts. It's not my words. It's just I recognize that there was a truth over here, and I repeated it, and it caused all kinds of hurt. That's because people adhere to lies, and when anyone tries to not adhere to lies, well, everyone who's adhering to lies gets light shed on them, and it's like, cover me back up. You know what I'm saying? So they try to attack the light that's being shined on them, you know, which makes sense. It's perfect sense. If I was them, that's the way I would act. So, yeah, the best way to do it, put yourself in the mindset of someone else.